Leading off the top of the first for Lake Erie, the left fielder, number 10, Nico Diani.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 4 of this 4-game set between the University of Findlay Oilers and the Lake Erie College Storm. Storm have taken all 3 of the ball games we've played thus far, won that first game in a 15-inning final of 6-0, and then just took game number 1 here by a 4-1 final. Oilers looking to win the last game of the series, get their first conference win, and are going to need some offense to do it. I'm Kyle Meerman alongside Joe Mayberry, who will be your play-by-play for this, the 4th and final game of this conference opening weekend.
Radesky on the bump for the Oilers here in game number 4. Radesky starts out with a 1-1 count. Blowing in from center field again in this game today. Ball in the dirt there pushes the count to 2-1 for Radesky. Freshman catcher Christian Smith behind the plate in this game. Miguel Valdez caught the first game of today's doubleheader. And Kyle, the Oilers just have not been able to put up runs in bunches. We've been scoring 1 and 2, but not a lot of 3s and 4s in an inning.
That's right. Oilers getting hits, but not hits when they need them the most, and that's been the problem so far, as the offense has been pretty silent. Coach Perrill trying to mix things up in the lineup a little bit, maybe getting Christian Smith his first collegiate start. Did play in the 15-inning ball game yesterday, but starting today for the first time in his career. And some numbers for Radesky, the sophomore on the mound. He's a transfer, so this is his first season as an Oiler. This is the 4th game in which he has started. He's 1 and 2 in those ball games, but just a 1.69 ERA, 14 strikeouts in 16 innings. This is a good right-handed arm in this 4th slot in the rotation, and walks the leadoff hitter, Diani.
Radesky got the count to full there, that batter, but ultimately lost him on ball 4. Takes first base now. Just starting out the game, score is tied.
Fielder number 29, Aaron Lindgren.
Score is tied 0-0 here in the top of the first. We don't have any outs. Lindgren squared the bunt, but pulled back in time. Pushes the count to 1-0.
Lindgren hitting .243 this season, and he had a big run scored back in the first game of the day today. Scored that run in the 5th inning, part of a 2-run single from Rutger Lubke that put the Storm ahead, and they never looked back as they extended their lead to 4-1.
Lindgren with a foul ball down the first base line pushes the count to 1-1. Again, Delaney on first base, no outs here in the inning. And Radesky on the bump for the Oilers. Oilers wearing their black tops, gray bottoms, and all black hats for the second game in this game. Second game in this doubleheader, excuse me. Lake Erie with the all grays with green hats.
Diani off with the pitch, ball in the dirt, and Diani's got a stolen base.
Nice job there of Christian Smith keeping the ball in front of him. However, with him being off with the pitch, there was no throw down to second base.
Right, no chance for Smith there. Diani got a pretty good jump and a ball in the dirt. Smith didn't really have a shot there.
I just did more double cheeseburgers.
Wind has picked up in game number 2. The sun is out more in this game. Swing and a miss there from Lindgren. That's the first out of the inning, and Radesky's first strikeout of the game. That brings up Matthews for Lake Erie.
Shortstop, number 16, Sean Matthews.
That's why I wrote all that stuff out.
Oh, I
Previous pitch was a ball. On Radeski's pitch before that was a ball in the dirt, wild pitch where Delani advanced to third base. Again, Christian did a nice job of keeping the ball in front of him there, but he was off with the pitch. Ball high pushes the count to 3-0 for Radeski.
Matthews enters the ball game today hitting .263.
Third baseman Troy Merriman in at the cut. Anything on the infield here is going to have to be hit slowly to score the runner from third base.
I got everybody.
Strike there from Radeski on the outside corner of the plate. It is a 3-1 count here, 1 out in the inning. Center fielder Josh Schwer shaded to the right in center field. Pete Jorgen in right field playing straight up. That is a walk from Austin Radeski. Puts Matthews on first base and Delani at third. So runners at the corners here, 1 out. That brings up number 25, Giddings for Lake Erie.
The first baseman, number 25, Cale Giddings.
Giddings wearing green socks and the stirrup look for Lake Erie. Off-speed pitch there from Radeski. Strike 1 on the outside corner of the plate. Lake Erie looking to strike early in this game. It took him a couple innings to get a hit, much less runs in the last game. No hits so far with 2 walks from Radeski, but a chance to put up a crooked number here in the inning with only 1 out. Another ball in the dirt by Radeski. Christian Smith bounces it off his chest protector, but that does score a run on the wild pitch. Matthews, that was on first base, advances to second. Lake Erie takes the early 1-0 lead.
That's not good. A early hole for the Oilers. Just 1 run in the first ball game of the day, no runs in the second ball game yesterday. And offense has been a struggle, and they already face an early deficit here in the top of inning number 1.
Second pitch from Radeski to Giddings, excuse me, is a ball. Count is 2-0. On deck for Lake Erie is Libke. Giddings calls time and is granted. Radeski pitching from the stretch with a runner on second base. A lot of pitches so far from Radeski in this inning. There's a nice curveball from Radeski to get the swinging strike. That pushes the count to 2-2, but Radeski has thrown 23 pitches already in this inning, and only 11 of those have gone for strikes.
We had a couple of early walks for Radeski. Walks were part of the problem in the last game, as the starter Colin Parrow only surrendered 2 hits, but did allow 4 walks to reach in. That was disaster as those came around to score.
There's a strikeout from Radeski. Giddings didn't get the bat off of his shoulder there. That is the second out of the inning. Around the diamond for the Oilers is Christian Smith behind catching today.
The
Freshman
designated hitter, number 28, Rutger Lipke.
Freshman Pete Burkett at first. Freshman Cam Johnson at second. Freshman third baseman Troy Merriman and sophomore shortstop Kevin Schrock. Your outfielders for the Oilers left to right is Logan Hara, Josh Schwer, and Pete Jorgen. Again, a young roster here from Coach Steve Parrow, even younger, throwing Christian Smith in there as a catcher.
Yeah, and the mound.
Time called from designated hitter Lubke. On deck for Lake Erie's Nitt And in the hole is Sackett, if we get that far in this inning. Lake Erie has an early 1-0 lead. Foul ball back into the screen. Pushes the count to 1-1.
Lupke is hitting .429 this season. He had the big 2 RBI single in the last game that put Lake Erie ahead for good. That was in the 6th inning of that ball game.
Wow, where's that?
Ball high from Radeski. Pushes the count to 2-1 here. Again, no hits in the inning so far for Lake Erie. But they did have a couple walks and a couple wild pitches that have allowed them to score 1 run, take the early 1-0 lead in the top of the first. Pop-up foul on the first base line. Freshman first baseman Pete Burkett runs over, but the ball does go out of play. Pushes the count to 2-2 now for Radeski. Again, Lepke at the dish.
Connor, you want water or Coke?
I'm good.
You good?
We are joined in the press box today by Jim Givens and Connor Sullivan. Connor's the DJ for today's game. Another strikeout there from Radeski ends the inning. A couple strikeouts in that inning for Radeski, but the Lake Erie does manage to score a run. Head to the bottom of the first inning. Oilers down 1-0.
I would have to leave because I would start laughing.
Leading off this game number 4 of the weekend set for the Oilers is freshman center fielder Josh Schwer. Josh out of Anthony Wayne High School. Early meeting on the mound here between pitcher and catcher for Lake Erie. Josh does have a threat of speed for the Oilers. He's one of a handful that Coach Steve Perrell would send if he were to get on base here to try to generate some early offense. On the mound for Lake Erie is Bullock. And the first pitch from Bullock is a called strike on the outside corner of the plate.
Numbers here for Bullock. He is a freshman. This is the second game in which he has started 0-1 so far, just pitched 5 innings and gave up 8 runs in the only start he has had this season. Hopefully a guy the Oilers can touch up for a few runs here, as they need to get this last win of the series.
The ground ball there from Schwer back to the pitcher. Put out goes 1-3, and that brings up second baseman number 3, Cam Johnson.
Second baseman number 3, Cam Johnson.
First pitch was a ball in the dirt to shortstop Cam Johnson. Cam is from Tip City, Ohio. And the freshman potential for Coach Steve Perrell. Second pitch of the at-bat is a swinging strike to Cam Johnson, pushes the count to 1-1. 35 degrees if we're lucky here today in Findlay, Ohio, with a breeze straight out of center field. The flag star left and right are blowing stiff right now. Called ball on the inside part of the plate.
Johnson is hitting .281 so far in this young season, was 0 for 2 in the first game of the day.
Foul ball back over the right side of the visitors' dugout onto one of the adjacent fields here at the Marathon Sports Complex. We do have 4 fields here at the Sports Complex. We are playing on Fifth Third Field. Foul tip into the glove of the catcher there from Cam Johnson. That is a swinging strikeout. Brings up number 14, right fielder Pete Jorgen.
The right fielder, number 14, Pete Jorgen.
This is the worst.
That's Jim Gibbons weighing in on walk-up music that everybody here in the booth would agree is not real good from right fielder Pete Jorgen. Connor doing a good job of mixing the 1s and 2s here in the booth.
Do want to let you know we've got a 5th member of our staff. He's down on the field, our on-field reporter, David Schwartz. We'll be checking in with him once in a while to let you know what the attitude is down on the field, what's going on in the dugout. And we only provide the best coverage of Oilers athletics here, and we'll continue to do so for the remainder of this ballgame and the rest of the season.
Rest of the season might be kind of a shaky question here, Kyle, but we'll give it our all today. Count is 3-0 on Pete Jorgen. Pete plays a good right field for Coach Steve Perrell. And that's a 4-pitch walk for Pete Jorgen. Pete gives it 100% when he runs down to first base. That brings up designated hitter number 54, Chase Gillette.
The designated hitter, number 54, Chase Goulet.
And we're going to go down to David Schwartz, who's in the dugout. Goulet wearing number 54 today, normally 22. David, can you tell us what the story is on that?
Yes, word on the street is he left his jersey at home. He had one of those usual case of the Sundays, actually, and so the jersey's back at home, and they had to do a quick audible and give him number 54 for today. So that's a story on that. Pretty funny stuff.
Thank you, David, for that. Back to live action now. Count is 0-1 here on designated hitter Chase Goulet. Pitch out there, seeing if Cam Johnson would, or excuse me, Pete Jorgen would try to run on the pitch. So that puts it to 1-1 for senior Chase Goulet. Kyle, who normally wears 54 for the Oilers?
No one. That's a blank jersey.
It's not blank. It says 54, Kyle, but thanks. Wild pitch there from number 18, Bullock. Advances Jorgen down to second base.
Goulet entered today's ballgame hitting .295 in that designated hitter spot. It's where he's been all year long. This is the 18th ball game in which Chase has played.
Foul ball back over our heads here in the press box. Again, the Oilers down early, 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning here. 2 outs. For those of you that are just joining us, I'm Joe Mayberry, Kyle Neerman to my right, and on-field reporter David Schwartz. It's a ball in the dirt, and Pete Jorgen, being an attentive base runner there, advances down to third base. And hold on here. We might have a strike. We might have a ball. We're not sure what's going on here.
The field umpire is saying Chase did not swing, so it's a ball. Count will go full.
So that pushes the count to full here. Pete Jorgen is at third base, and if Chase can put one in play here, potentially scoring a run for the Oilers.
That'd be nice to see an answer from the Oilers. Got down 1-0 in the top of the first inning. They can answer with a run of their own here in the bottom half, maybe a little confidence for a lineup that's been struggling.
Swinging a drive to center field. Center fielder makes the third out of the inning. The Oilers threaten but do not score. Radesky back on the mound here for the Oilers, pitching to second baseman number 12, Mitt. Oilers are down 1-0 here in the top of the second inning. Second pitch from Radesky in this inning pushes the count to 1-1. No hits for either side so far in this game, but the Lake Erie has pushed 2 across the board with a couple walks and a couple untimely wild pitches.
Mitt enters the game today hitting .200.
That pitch from Radesky was a ball high. Mitt with the drive to center field. Freshman center fielder Josh Schwerer comes in, makes the play. 1 out in the inning now.
Catcher number 44, Darren Sackett.
The wind has shifted from straightaway center to coming in hard from right center now. The American flag to the right of our windows here is maintaining a fairly stiff breeze. Sackett at the plate for the Storm uses a neon green bat. Does not go well with their uniforms, but I'm not a fashion expert. Radesky down to the count 1-0. Here comes his second pitch. The ball high.
Sackett, a freshman, hitting .273 this season, got the start in the first game of the day today and was hitless.
3-0 count here for Radesky. I said it in the last inning, and I'll say it again. Radesky throwing a lot of strikes here. This next pitch will be Radesky's 37th pitch of the game through 1 1/3.
A lot of strikes or a lot of pitches?
That last strike from Radesky is his 19th strike of the game. Pushes the count to 3-1. Pop up into the infield. Merriman at third base calls off shortstop Kevin Schrock to make the second out of the inning. That's 2 down now. Brings up number 35, third baseman Carver.
The third baseman, number 35, Ryan Carver.
Ryan Carver getting his first at-bat of this series, playing in just his third ball game of the year, has yet to record a hit. He is a freshman, and so a hit here would be the first of his career.
The first pitch he sees from Radesky is his fastball strike over the heart of the plate. For those of you just tuning in or just starting to follow Oilers baseball for the year, Radesky's brother, who is a teammate of Kyle Neerman, is in the Philadelphia Phillies minor league system. Ball there pushes the count to 1-1.
If there's one thing I know about these Radesky brothers is that they both work hard. Austin certainly carries that trait and works hard to perfect his craft, and pitching is certainly that.
There's a drive to left field. Left fielder Logan Harrop goes over, makes a nice play for the third out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors in that inning.
It's Austin.
Back for baseball, bottom of the second. Be back soon. Back to baseball here. Third baseman Troy Merriman at the plate.
Could use the lava cake right now.
So good.
Troy Merriman enters the ball game today hitting a pretty solid .304.
What was the first pitch?
Foul ball back over the right side of the press box here. Like Kyle said, Troy batting .304. Count is 0-2 here on Troy Merriman. No outs here at the bottom of the second inning. There's a line drive back up the middle. Nice hit there for third baseman Troy Merriman. Single for Troy. Just going to push his average a little higher. That brings up number 13 left fielder Austin Adams. I apologize. In the last inning, I credited Logan Hare with the third
The left fielder, number 13, Austin Adams.
Finally, some good walk-up music here from the Oiler.
No, thanks.
Throwback from pitcher Bullock, keeping an eye on Troy Merriman over there at first base.
Adams struggling so far this season, hitting just 121 and only one double. That was all the way back in the first game they played against Gannon. That was in Florida. This is an extra base kind of bat in Coach Perril's lineup. Still waiting for that to come to fruition.
Merriman on first base does not have any attempted stolen bases this year for the Oilers. If Austin's going to hit one out of the park today, it's going to have to be a rocket because the wind is shifted again straight in from right field. The 25th pitch of the day for Bullock was a ball high, pushes the count to 3-0. Kyle, if you are Coach Perrill, are you looking to give the green light here to Adams?
Probably not. The way the Oilers offense has struggled so far, you're looking for any base runner that you can get, and he does take fastball down the middle there. 3-0 count. Adams, yes, is a good hitter, but maybe struggling to see the ball early so far this season. You just got to get base runners any way you can get them. Walk, hit by pitch. Oilers need offense that any way they can get it. There's a walk to Adams.
The catcher.
Smith up now for the Oilers. Christian is a freshman catcher out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Christian did see some time yesterday for the Oilers in the in the 15-inning game. That's the only game he's played in this year, but he does have one walk.
Yep, still searching for that first collegiate hit. Now would be a good time for it, as it would tie this ball game with Merriman on second with some decent speed.
Bunt fouled on the first baseline there from Christian Smith. The first baseman for the Storm was in very far on the grass, expecting the bunt there from Christian Smith. But since it was a foul ball, that pushes the count to 0-1. No outs in the inning here for the Oilers.
We'll see if Christian can do the job here. Wants to get Adams and Merriman advance one base, get runners in second and third with one out, give the Oilers a better scoring opportunity. So big spot here for Christian Smith.
Kyle, I just noticed the third baseman for the Storm calling out the infield signals. Sometimes you see our catcher Miguel Valdez, or in this case Christian Smith, called out the coverages. The third baseman was doing it here.
Yeah, catcher will often call first and third defenses. Third baseman more in charge of the bunt coverages. And so he's letting his infielders know what the play is and who's going to be covering where.
That's why Kyle makes the big bucks, is for that insight. Another bunt there from freshman Christian Smith goes fouled on the first baseline. Coach Steve Perrill calls Christian over to have a heart-to-heart regarding what he wants to see here. Count is 0-2 with no outs here in the inning. The Storm plated 1 run in the first inning. Did not score in the second.
And we mentioned it, Christian getting his first start of the season. David Schwartz talked with him before the game. And David, what did Christian feel about getting his first start?
Yeah, guys, I talked to Christian before the game, and he was just really excited for this opportunity. He was thrilled that Coach Perrell gave him the opportunity to catch, try to kind of demonstrate his skills and what he can do, and to give the Oilers the option that they have, with Garcia injured, that they have another catcher besides Valdez. So he is really excited for his opportunity, and I think he's going to make something of it big time. Back to you guys up at the booth in the press box. While I'm down here, a little chilly down in the dugout, guys.
Thanks, David. Hope you're keeping warm down there. That is some good insight. Christian really excited about this opportunity. He's got a 1-2 count, already thrown into a big spot.
The fourth pitch there from Bullock in the at-bat is a ball in the dirt, pushes the count to 2-2. These are the hard-hitting sports takes you can expect from Oilers baseball play-by-play this year. Foul ball back out of play, keeps the count at 2-2.
Pretty good at bat here from Smith. Again, we mentioned he's just getting his second at bat of the season, but doing a good job battling here in a big spot against the pitcher Bullock. Again, Bullock not a big strikeout pitcher. Oilers look to capitalize on that early in this ball game. Their best scoring chance so far here in the bottom of inning number 2.
Full count here for Christian Smith. Christian does have 1 walk on the year, like I mentioned earlier. Another one here would load the bases for the Oilers. And that is a looking strike 3 for the first out of the inning. Brings up freshman first baseman Pete Burkett.
First baseman, number 28, Pete Burkett.
Burkett, the 5th and final freshman to hit for the Oilers in this lineup. Again, 5 freshmen starting today for Coach Perrell, and Radesky on the mound is in his first season as an Oiler. So a lot of young players out on the field. Schrock and Adams are both sophomores, so very young. They're going to need to grow up fast, though. This isn't a forgiving game, as they found out, and they've dropped the first 3 in this series to Lake Erie.
Pete Burkett using the bright yellow bat here with 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. Swing and a miss there from Burkett. Third baseman for the Storm's playing even with the bag at third. Infield and first baseman are playing straight up. Outfield appears to be playing straight up as well. The right fielder might be shaded a step in a little bit because of the wind, but the flags to my left and right are not blowing at the moment. There's a bouncer to second base. Nice play by the shortstop, ranging wide to his right. Trying to make the throw across the diamond. Pete Burkett makes it's safe at first base. That loads the bases for the Oilers with 1 out, bringing up shortstop Kevin Schrock, number 6.
Shortstop, number 6, Kevin Schrock.
Nice piece of hitting there by Burkett. Got the pitch he was looking for, hit it through the left side. Would have been a tough play for the shortstop Matthews. Did backhand and throw, Jeter-esque style, I guess you could say, but a little too much speed for Burkett, and Matthews didn't make the play. So the Oilers have a great scoring chance here early in this game.
Getting the Oilers down 1-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's a slow roller to the third baseman. Third baseman steps on third to get the first out and throws across the diamond to record the double play. Double play goes 5-3. Oilers threaten but do not score in that inning. No runs on 2 hits, no errors in the inning. We headed to the top of the third with the Oilers down 1-0. First pitch from Radesky is a strike to Tarasi for the Storm. Leaving the bases loaded there in the last bottom half of the second inning. Not what the Oilers are looking for, as we're struggling to score runs, and we have been all year. But Radesky ahead of the batter here, 0-2. Batter's Tarasi. He plays right field for the Storm.
Yeah, the feeling in the dugout after that double play couldn't be too good. Had the bases loaded in an inning that looked very promising. But again, the double play promptly ended any shot of scoring.
Left fielder, number 10, Nico Diani.
Radesky had the swinging strike out there of Tarasi. Radesky's had a handful of strikeouts on the day.
Pretty good.
But again, his pitch count is up to 44. Ball high there, offering from Radesky. First baseman Delani wearing number 10 at the plate now. Ahead in the count, 1-0. Strike there over the heart of the plate. There is one out in the inning.
I had 1-1.
No, outs. Had two.
1-1 offering there from Radesky's ball in the dirt. Nice job of Christian Smith going down to block that one.
Diani hitting .250 this season, has 3 RBI, and is second on his team in walks. He's got 7 of those.
The pop up out of the right side of the play towards the diamond to our right.
Go 2.
2-2 count here for Radesky, looking for another strikeout. Radesky sets and fires. That's a ball high, pushes the count to 3-2. Delani is your number 1 batter. Lindgren is on deck for the Storm. Big pitch here from Radesky. It's a foul ball back into the screen. It's a fastball that Delani was chasing. Caught enough of it to foul it back into the screen there to stay alive at the at-bat and in this inning.
A pretty firm fastball there from Radesky. Right down the heart of the plate, just challenging Diani.
And that's ball 4 from Radesky. Puts a runner on first base here for the Storm. 1 out in the inning. And that brings up the center fielder Lindgren.
Center fielder, number 29, Aaron Lindgren.
Lindgren came into the ballgame today hitting .243. He's got 2 triples and 3 home runs, leads his team in that category. Also 8 walks, so this is a hitter that likes to get on base.
Holy bounce.
Wild pitch will
Nothing you can do.
advance Diani there. Took a funny bounce off the lip in front of home plate there, and Christian Smith did his best to block it, but not much you can do. Ball bounced up and over his head to the backstop. Diani advances into scoring position.
Some scores from around the GLIAC here. Ashland Baseball defeated Northwood today by a score of 4-2 in game number 1. And Wayne State defeated Walsh by a score of 4-2 in their game number 1 as well. Here in Findlay, the Oilers lost game number 1 today to the Lake Erie Storm by a count of 4-1, and they are currently trailing 1-0 in game 4 of this weekend set. Count is 2-0 here to Lindgren. Lindgren lefty at the plate. Troy Merriman at third base playing straight up, but shortstop Kevin Schrock. And
Got him.
Great pickoff there by Radesky and Schrock. Those are the things that Coach Steve Perrell worked on all offseason And that was a nice job of Schrock. They were playing behind the runner at second base. And when the runner took his step towards third base, Radusky came in and, Schrock came in and picked him off.
Right, that's a play called from the dugout. Shortstop breaks to the runner who's getting a little too excessive of a lead, and the catcher Smith then either drops the glove or closes a fist and lets Radesky know when he can turn and fire. So a good call from the dugout there, getting the runner, and a fly out to deep right field retires Lindgren. And the Oilers are out of the top of the third. We're headed to the bottom of the third. Oilers trail on this one, 1-0.
Now at the plate for the Oilers, number 5, Josh Schwer. Josh is the freshman center fielder for the Oilers and took Steve Perrell's squad.
Schwer is 0 for 1 in the ballgame today, grounded out to the pitcher back in the first inning.
First pitch from Bullock is a ball high. Oilers' third base coach is head coach Steve Perrell. First base coach is graduate assistant and assistant coach Jaron Stutzman. Swing and a miss there from Schwer, pushes the count to 1-1. We are in the bottom of the third inning here at the Fifth Third Field Marathon Diamonds in Findlay, Ohio. Foul ball back into the screen there from Schwer, pushes the count to 1-2. That third out of the inning for the Storm was a fly ball deep to right field as a line drive to second baseman retires Schwer. That's the first out of the inning. Going back to the third out of the the top of the third inning.
Second baseman number 3, Cam Johnson.
Was a hard hit ball to deep right field. Pete Jorgen did a great job of going back on it, but Pete was on the warning track there, and it's 330 down the right field line. And it wasn't hit. It was hit just enough to stay in the field. Brings up second baseman Cam Johnson.
Man, Johnson struck out swinging back in his only at bat in the first inning.
So foul ball back over the screen. Actually makes contact with the press box here. Pushes the count to 0-1. Actually, it's 1-1 count to second baseman Cam Johnson.
Johnson hitting .281 this season. He's got 9 hits. 3 of those are doubles.
Bullock rocks and fires, and Cam hits a slow ground ball to the third baseman, who fires across the diamond to record the second out of the inning. Put out there goes 5-3, and that brings up number 14, Pete Jorgen.
The right fielder, number 14, Pete Jorgen.
What's that? Two outs in the inning now for the Oilers. And the Oilers are down 1-0. And the first pitch there from Bullock is a strike, off-speed pitch across the inside heart of the plate. Ground ball to shortstop. Ball gets fired across the diamond, pulls the first baseman off of the bag. But he does tag Pete out to end the inning. Oilers go 1-2-3, no runs, no hits, no errors. Headed to top of the fourth inning. Oilers trail 1-0. First pitch of the at-bat to Matthews is a strike from Radesky. Top of the fourth inning here, the Oilers trail 1-0. Foul ball back at a play to the right side. Pushes the count to 0-2.
Matthews hitting .263 this season. Second on his team in RBI. He's got 11 of those.
Nice pitch from Radesky there on the outside part of the plate for a third strike looking. That's Radesky's fifth strikeout of the game through 3 1/3.
The first baseman, number 25, Cale Giddings.
That brings up number 25, Cale Giddings. Swing and a miss by the curveball there from Radesky. Pushes the count to 0-1. There's a pop up to the left side of the infield. Shortstop Kevin Trott goes over, gets the sun out of his eyes, and makes a nice play there to record the second out of the inning. So Radesky making good work so far through the top of the fourth inning.
Designated hitter, number 28, Rutger Lupke.
You're right, Joe. Just 4 pitches, and he's got 2 outs already. See if he can get ahead of Rutger Lukey and retire the final hitter of this inning, get his boys up to bat.
First pitch fastball across for a strike from Radesky. Pushes the count to 0-1. Radesky sets and fires. Here's a drive to left fielder Austin Adams. Austin camps under it and makes the 3rd out of the inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning from Austin Radesky. Oilers trail 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Chase Goulet up now for the Oilers. Designated hitter wearing number 54. Chase is a senior left-handed batter for Coach Steve Carroll.
Through.
There's a line drive right to the second baseman, who did not have to range real far to his out to his right to make the 1st out of the inning. So that's 1 pitch and 1 out recorded by Bullock. Brings up 3rd baseman Troy Merriman.
3rd baseman, number 7, Troy Merriman.
That swing right there kind of tells the story of the day and of the series so far. Oilers hitting the ball not bad, but just right at the Storm players, and they just really can't catch a break right now. Might need a bounce to go their way if they want to get back in this one. They trail it just 1-0.
Slow ground ball to 3rd baseman. Throw pulls the 1st baseman off the bag, but again, the 1st baseman does a nice job of coming off the bag, catching the ball, and applying the tag. That's 2 outs on 3 pitches so far. Brings up number 13, Austin Adams.
Left fielder, number 13, Austin Adams.
Through 3 2/3, Bullock has only recorded 51 pitches.
We got it. Hi.
What happened?
Oh, the umpire's pissed because of the music. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, that's not
You
on
don't need
you.
to be a jerk.
Yeah, that's not on you. Don't worry about that.
Through.
There's a ground ball to the right side of the infield, and the error on the second baseman is the ball takes a big hop. It puts Austin Adams on 1st base, and that will bring up Christian Smith here for the Oilers.
Catcher, number 19, Christian Smith.
Yeah. And that might have been the bounce the Oilers were looking for there, Kyle, getting a runner on, even though there are 2 outs in the inning.
Could be, yeah. With 2 outs, Oilers need anything they can get. Any base runner is helpful. So Adams hits the ball well. Second baseman backhands and can't make the play.
Christian Smith with the swing and the miss there. The first pitch of this at bat. Count goes to 0-1.
Get down.
And a base hit there for, excuse me, a great diving play by the center fielder to rob Christian Smith of a hit. Oilers get a runner on, but they do not do anything with it. Still down 1-0 as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Brings up Mitt for the Storm. Radusky's still on the mound. He's thrown 63 pitches through 4 innings of work. For those of you just joining us or tuned in for the second game, Game 2 will be a 9-inning affair today. And the first pitch from Radusky is a cutter on the inside part of the plate for a strike. The count goes to 0-1.
Mitt entered the game today hitting 200. He's got 3 hits and 12 at-bats. This is only the 6th game in which he has played.
A swing and a miss there from Mitt pushes the count to 0-2. Radusky's done a good job the last couple innings, Kyle, of mixing up his speeds and locations.
He has, and that's the key to success. Keep the hitters off balance. Don't let them get comfortable in that batter's box. Make sure that they never really know what's coming. There gets the strike on the outside corner. Mitt couldn't pull the trigger, and 3 pitches and a strikeout.
The catcher, number 44, Darren Sackett.
I believe that's the 6th strikeout of the game for Radusky so far. That brings up Sackett for Lake Erie. Ball outside pushes the count to 1-0. For Lake Erie, 1 run on no hits and 1 error. For the Oilers, no runs on 2 hits and no errors. We are in the top of the 5th inning. Here's a drive to left center as left fielder Austin Adams comes in and camps under it. Austin did a nice job there of calling off center fielder Josh Schwer to record the 2nd out of the inning. Radusky working fairly quickly here.
Third baseman, number 35, Ryan Carver.
That brings up number 35, third baseman Ryan Carver for the Lake Erie Storm. Center fielder Josh Schwer moves to his right a little bit. First pitch from Radusky is a curveball swung on and missed by Carver. Radusky rocks and fires. That's a slow roller down the third baseline. Foul to third baseman Troy Merriman. So the count is 0-2 on Carver. Radesky looking for another strikeout here. Sails one over the catcher's head, and Christian Smith does not come out of the crouch there. Count goes to 1-2 here. That was the 71st pitch of the game for Radesky.
And Christian Smith out to talk with his pitcher, Radesky, just going over the strategy here to retire the final out of the 5th inning.
Another ball in the dirt there from Radesky. Christian Smith goes down, makes a play on the dirt. Pushes the count to 2-2 here. Nice to see Radesky get out of this inning and let the Oilers get back to the offensive part of the game. Carver does not offer at the 2-2 pitch, pushes the count to 3-2 here. He did check his swing in time. Tarasi is on deck for Lake Erie. Another foul ball back into the screen there from Carver. So far today in his first collegiate start, catcher Christian Smith has done a good job of catching Radesky. Again, 6 strikeouts, and after we get through the first inning, Kyle, he settled down pretty well.
Yeah, Radesky has settled down, gave up the lone run there in the top of the first. He's gone 3 scoreless since then. This ball is rolled back up the middle. Schrock makes the play. And Radesky is doing a nice job, gets out of the inning there. We are headed to the bottom of the 5th. Oilers trail in this one 1-0.
Burkett. Back to live baseball. Pete Burkett steps in. Bottom of the 5th inning here. The Oilers still down 1-0. Ball high and inside from Bullock. That was Bullock's 55th pitch of the game.
Burkett is 1 for 1 in the game, singled back in the 2nd inning.
So Burkett does have one of 2 Findlay hits in this game. Foul ball back at a play over the right side of the press box here. Pushes the count to 1-1. Wind still blowing in from right field. Foul ball down the right field line out of play. Some little Sparky's going to go make a nice play on that one and get a souvenir, even though they don't get to keep them. We're working within a budget here on campus. 1-2 pitch here. Burkett drives one to left field. Center fielder ranges over to his right, makes a nice play on it for their first out of the inning. Kyle, the Oilers need something to happen here.
Yeah, you're right. The Oilers one out here.
Shortstop, number 6, Kevin
We're in the
Schrock.
bottom of the 5th, and Kevin Schrock up. You remember, Joe, Kevin Schrock grounded into a double play in his last at-bat. That ended a good chance. Bases were loaded with 1 out. David Schwartz was in the dugout for that play. What was the reaction after that happened, David?
Well, the players knew that he tried to give it his all, but unfortunately, grounding in that double play that brought on some frustration down the dugout. But they know better to just cheer up Schrock because they know they'd be disappointed. So the team is hanging in there, and there's a good mindset down there, even though everyone's wearing sweaters and we're all cold and wish we had some space heaters down there. But back to you guys in the press box.
Thank you, David, for that analysis. Good to hear that the attitude in the dugout remains positive. It can be tough sometimes, especially when you're struggling as the Oilers have, and that double play is certainly a big part of this game, but those positive attitudes, so we hope that continues. The Oilers are only down a run here.
A slow roller from Schrock to the second baseman. Put out goes 4-3. That's the second out of the inning here for the Oilers. Brings up number 5, Josh Schwer.
Center fielder, number 5, Josh Schwer.
There's a button on the third baseline from Josh Schwer. The pitcher comes down, makes a play, and makes an even better throw to first base to get the out. It's a 1-2-3 inning there from the Oilers as we still cannot produce any offense. We're headed to the top of the 6th inning. Oilers trail 1-0.
Derek Taurasi up for the Storm to lead off the top of the 6th inning in the ball game today. Taurasi is 0 for 1, struck out swinging back in the 3rd.
There's a bunt to freshman catcher Christian Smith. Christian does a nice job of ranging up from home plate and firing down to first base to record the first out of the inning. Up 1 down so far for Radeski.
Left fielder, number 10, Nico Diani.
Diani up now for the Storm. Still just a 1-0 game here in Findlay, Ohio. Oilers looking for some spark of offense, which we haven't had the last 2 games. First pitch from Radeski to Diani is a ball high. One nothing count here, 1 down in the top of the 6th inning.
Christian Smith on that last bunt attempt did a nice job. I've been pretty impressed with the freshman at the catcher's position. Did a nice job there. Coming out of his crouch, and making the play, throwing down to first with the runner down the middle of the baseline. Made a good, strong throw. And Christian Smith has been doing a good job in his first collegiate start.
Strike from Radeski pushes the count to 2-1 here. Fairly decent turnout between parents and grandparents and four-legged creatures today here in Findlay. One thing I've noticed, the Oilers do travel well, and with Lake Erie being a 3.5-hour drive over, I do see some green in the crowd as well. 2-2 count here for Radeski. Pitching from the set. Another strikeout there from Radeski. That's his 7th of the game. And he's rolling now.
The center fielder, number 29, Aaron Lindgren.
Diani up until that point had walked twice. So change of fortune there. Radeski gets him looking, and Lindgren now is up. He's over 2. Struck out swinging in the first inning and flew out to right field in the third.
Swinging a foul tip off of the bat of Lindgren pushes the count to 0-1. Nice job there of the umpire to give Smith a break after catching one there in the chest protector. Christian Smith looks over to pitching coach Brian Mikowski for the pitching call for Radeski. Foul ball down the first base line towards the Oiler dugout. So an 0-2 count here from Radeski.
Go after.
It's a ball high and away there. Christian was set up outside, but he wasn't set up that far outside. That's the count pushes to 1-2 here.
Maybe trying to get Lindgren to chase there on that ball. And Lindgren with 3 home runs. I'd pitch him away. Everything that he's hit hard has been to the right side.
Just like clockwork there, Kyle. You said pitch him away, and that one was in the opposite batter's box.
Right, and Lindgren is the one who hit that ball to the warning track and right into a pretty stiff breeze. And given his swings that we've seen here in this at-bat, I'm going to say that most of his power is going to be to that pull side. There, you pitch him on the outside corner, and he doesn't touch it. So it's strike 3 for Radeski, his 8th strikeout of the game. Oilers are going to need some offense here. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. Lake Erie leads this one 1-0.
So Cam Johnson up now for the Oilers.
And Johnson is 0-2 in today's game. He struck out swinging in the first and grounded out to third base in the third.
Cam with a hard hit liner to left field. It's going to be his first hit of the day. That's a great way to start the inning off for the Oilers. brings up Pete Jorgen.
Right fielder, number 14, Pete Jorgen.
So right fielder Pete Jorgen up with the runner on first base.
Thank you.
Bullock has been fairly economical this game. He's only thrown 64 pitches through 5 complete innings. Cam Johnson did square up the first pitch of this inning, drove the ball to left field for a leadoff single. And we're going to have a meeting on the mound here, so we'll be back to live baseball momentarily. All right, the meeting on the mound is over. Got some things squared away. There is some action in the Lake Erie bullpen. And throw over to keep an eye on Cam Johnson at first base. Pete Jorgen on the year has been in 15 games. He's got 52 at-bats with 11 hits. And Pete does have 1 stolen base. Cam Johnson on first base does not have any stolen bases. Cam there on first takes his lead and then takes his secondary.
Oh,
Nice play by the guy here behind home plate. I think he's from Sylvania.
it's his dad.
How about that? Pete Jorgen's dad with the play.
Call me Bill.
Foul ball on a bunt back over the screen. Pretty aggressive foul ball. At any rate, that pushes the count to 0-1. Third baseman playing in on the grass. And the catcher calls for and does get time. So back to action here. Like I said, the third baseman is 1 or 2 steps in on the grass. Infield playing straight up. Second pitch of the at-bat is a ball high. Drew the catcher out of his crouch. Right fielder playing in a couple steps. Left field and center playing straight up. Cam does have some speed over there at first base. It would be nice to see Pete put a barrel on one. Carroll called for the hit and run there, and Pete does make contact, but unfortunately it's a foul ball over the Lake Erie dugout. Pushes the count to 1-2 here.
You see Pete foul that pitch off, kind of shaking his head after he does so. I think frustration setting in all around here for Coach Perro, for all the players. They just haven't found the answer thus far. Now is a good chance to score. Runner on first and no outs. Got to capitalize on this situation.
You know, Kyle, we've played 4 games here, so Lake Erie only has maybe 1 or 2 stud pitchers. And when we were on the Florida trip, that's all we faced was number 1s and number 2s. And here we're seeing some lesser competition and still not getting quality at bats.
Right, down in Florida, the Oilers did see a couple draft-worthy pitching as Jorgen flips one into left field for a single. But you're right, a lot of good pitching down there in Florida you think would prepare them for this GLIAC season. Oilers have
Designated hitter, number 54, Chase Goulet.
Oilers Oilers seem to be playing sort of to the level of their competition. Played really well in Florida against some good teams and one of the best teams in the country in Franklin Pierce. Certainly not that here, but Oilers still just trying to find the answer. Goulet up with 2 runners on and no out.
So the first and third baseman playing in on the grass. The Oilers do have runners on first and second. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and there's a line drive to left field. We're right at the left fielder. He did a nice job of playing shading in there, and Cam Johnson did a good job of retreating back on his first step. That's 1 out in the inning now.
Third baseman number 7, Troy Merriman.
Does bring up number 7, Troy Merriman, freshman third baseman for the Oilers. Troy's batting .304 with an on-base percentage of .426 this year. He is slugging .357. Nice to see him connect here and put something up the gap and score a run here for the Oilers, who do trail 1-0. There's a ball in the dirt that Cam Johnson at second base didn't read, and I don't necessarily know if Coach Pearl would have wanted him to try to run there. The count goes to 0-1, and Cam Johnson on second, Pete Jorgen on first base, and the Oilers are down a run here.
And Troy Merriman in this situation with runners in scoring position doing a pretty decent job, hitting .357. Merriman fouls that one off to the right and out of play, and the count goes even at 1-1.
Another ball in the dirt pushes the count to 2-1. Here, the Storm do have a right fielder, or excuse me, a right-handed pitcher in the bullpen. Looks like number 1.
He pitched in the ball game yesterday. That's Pitsulo. Did a pretty good job in that 15-inning ball game. That was the first game of the doubleheader yesterday.
Shortstop and second baseman for the Storm are dancing. And that was a called double steal from Coach Steve Perrell. However, the home plate umpire called it foul. Oilers coach Steve Perrell called it fair. That's a foul ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You may have heard Jim Gibbons there say it was a foul ball, and that is correct. It was a foul ball. Steve Perrell is going to go argue that. Unfortunately, the Oilers are going to have to put runners back on first and second. There will be 2 strikes now. And put Troy Merriman, Austin Adams. Oh, Troy Merriman back at the plate.
Again, I think you see a little frustration there from Coach Perrell. Just wanted one bounce to go his way. Had a couple inches to the left side of that third base, but it was indeed a foul ball for Merriman. If that was fair, it was 2 runs and a double for Merriman, but Oilers still not getting a bounce, and Troy Merriman still has an opportunity here with a count even at 2-2.
Third baseman playing even with the bag. First, second, and short playing straight up. Bullock, the pitcher for the Storm, keeps an eye on Cam Johnson there at second base. Again, Cam does not have any stolen bases this year. The ball that Troy fouled off, there was a double steal on for the Oilers, maybe a hit and run. There's another foul ball back into the screen, pushes the count to 2-2. Like Kyle said earlier, you could see Steve Perrell here starting to sense some frustration trying to get runners across, being a little bit more aggressive on the base pass here.
That's right. That's part of the reason that he sent the two runners, Johnson and Jorgen, there. A double steal with one out here in the sixth. That's a risky move, but when you're not scoring, that's a risk worth taking.
Bottom of the sixth inning here. Oilers down 1-0. Count is 2-2 with one out here, and Troy Merriman, the Oiler third baseman at the plate. Oilers have been offensively struggling all day, and it continues there as Troy Merriman swings at strike three on an off-speed pitch. That will bring up Austin Adams.
Left fielder, number 13, Austin Adams.
Adams is batting 121 on the year. He has played in 13 games with 33 at-bats. But like Kyle said earlier in the broadcast, this is a guy that Coach Steve Perrell is really relying on for some power that we just haven't seen this year out of the sophomore left fielder.
That's right. He had a pretty good fall season. About seemed every ball that he hit was hit well. But, of course, when you're used to playing outside and you're stuck inside for 3 or 4 months, that doesn't help, especially when you don't really see live pitching very often. So maybe Adams getting used to playing outside again, still waiting for some of that extra base power to come back in this left-handed bat.
Bullock's last offering was fouled down the left field line to push the count to 1-1. 2 outs now in the inning after the Merriman strikeout. And there is a slow roller to the second baseman who ranges to his left to make the out. No runs on 2 hits in the inning. 2 runners left on. Oilers still down 1-0. Back to baseball here, and Sean Matthews steps to the plate for the Lake Erie Storm. Austin Radesky still on the mound. He's thrown 86 pitches through 6 complete innings. Swing and a miss there from Matthews to fall to 0-1.
Matthews is hitting .263 this season, has a double and a triple, and 11 RBI, and does play a pretty solid shortstop for the Storm.
Radesky's ahead 0-2 here to Matthews. Again, Radesky has 8 strikeouts in the game. And a ball in the dirt there pushes the count to 1-2. 1 runs, no hits, 1 error for the Storm. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Oilers through 6 complete innings. I think the Oilers have had maybe 1 runner on third base all game. And that's when Schrock grounded into the double play.
It was the bases loaded situation that ended with the double play.
Foul ball back off the right side. Keeps the count at 1-2. Radesky's been pitching from the set almost the entire game. He hasn't had to go to the stretch a whole lot here recently. There's the ball low. Infield and outfield playing straight up here for the Oilers. There's a pitch that hits Matthews to put him on first base, and that was not the way Radesky wanted to see that at bat end. He was ahead 0-2 early and works it so that Matthews takes a hit by pitch, so they put a runner on.
First baseman number 25, Cale Giddings.
Six, 4, 3. Cale Giddings up now for the Storm. There's a ball in the dirt there. Christian Smith steps out, and Christian's appealing to the home plate umpire that the batter did not get out of the way. He loses his appeal, however, and that advances the runner to second base on the pitch in the dirt. So that takes the double play out of order and puts a runner in scoring position. Radesky now pitching from the stretch. Shows Button, fouls it off, pushes the count to 1-1. Wind is swirling here in Findlay now. Earlier in the game, it was straight in from center. Now it's blowing in from right, but it blows out to left every now and again. Josh Schwer in center field shades a little bit to his right. Third pitch of the at-bat from Radesky is a ball in the dirt again. Count goes to 2-1. Troy Merriman at third base plays even with the bag now that there is a runner on second base. There's a ball outside from Radesky to push the count to 3-1.
Radesky seems to be losing a little bit of command here. Hit the batter Matthews to begin this inning. Now 3-1 to Giddings. It looks like there is some action now in the Oilers bullpen. Not quite sure who that is at this point. We'll get you more on that. And we see the number down there for now. Radesky has a full count on the hitter Giddings.
It's a ground ball to shortstop Kevin Schrock, who ranges to his ranges to his right, and his throw across the diamond pulls Pete Burkett off the bag. The call from the press box appeared to be that he applied the tag successfully. Oilers coach Steve Perrell is going to go out and have a meeting of the minds here. When we were in Florida, we did see Steve Perrell overturn a call after a meeting. Again, Kyle, and you can help me with this, the home plate umpire does have ultimate power in these situations.
Yeah, the two will discuss what they saw there. Field umpire obviously looking for the pulled foot, which Burkett did. But from that angle, it's tough to see whether or not he was able to get the tag down before the runner reached the base. From this angle, it looked that Burkett did get the tag down a half step before the runner Giddings reached, but umpires decide that's not the case, and it'll go as an error on the shortstop Schrock.
So no outs here in the top of the 7th inning. There's a bunt down the first baseline. Radesky comes in, throws to Burkett to get the first out of the inning. That does put 2 runners in scoring position. In the way that the runs have been at a premium, anything other than 1 here might spell the end for the Oilers.
Second baseman number 12, Tyler Mitt.
All right, it's going to make it that much more difficult the more runs the Oilers give up here. Coach Perrell knows that. That's why he has his infield drawn in, playing on the grass now, with runners at second and third, and the hitter Mitt at the plate, who is hitting .200 this year. He's got 3 hits and 15 at-bats.
Like Kyle said, the infield's playing in on the dirt, and catcher Christian Smith is looking for Coach Brian Bukowski to tell him where to set up at, and there Christian was set up on the on the outside part of the plate, and Radesky's pitch almost hit the batter. There's a swing and a miss for Radesky to push the count to 1-1. Like Kyle mentioned earlier in this inning, Radesky appears to be losing a little bit of his command here late in the game.
Right, and he is up over 100 pitches now in the 7th inning. It'd be nice for Radesky to at least get out of this inning with the score where it is. Try and give his offense a chance to tie this ball game in the bottom half of the inning.
Foul ball there from Mitt pushes the count to 1-2. The Storm have runners on second and third. 1 out here in the inning. So these next 2 outs are at a premium here for Radesky. The batter calls for and does get time. So Radesky steps off. He is pitching in the stretch, which he didn't have to do a lot here throughout the middle part of the game. But he has been laboring in this at-bat, or this inning, excuse me. There's a ball, we'll call it high and away, to take the count to 2-2. Something off speed coming here from Radesky. Christian sets up outside. And there's a line drive to right field. Right fielder Pete Jorgen comes in, cuts it off, and here comes a nice play by Pete Burkett to cut off the ball thrown in from Pete Jorgen, but that does score 2 runs. So the putout goes 9-3-6 for the second out of the inning, but that does plate 2 runs to give the Storm a 3-0 lead. First hit. That is the first hit of the game for the
Catcher
Lake
number
Erie,
44, Darren Sackett.
Lake Erie Storm. They now have 3 runs on 1 hit and 1 error. Foul ball back at a play to our left side. Colin Perrell in game 1 threw 5 or 6 innings of no-hit baseball, and Radesky just threw 6 complete innings of no-hit baseball, 6 1/3.
It's actually the same situation we faced in this game. Colin threw 6 innings of no-hit baseball, and the first hit he gave up was a 2-run single. Same story here, as the first hit for the Storm is a 2-run single. And it pushes the lead a little further now. The Storm lead 3-0.
Both those walks, too.
Come get it.
Fly ball there to left field to end the inning. And that does And the Oilers are headed to the bottom of the 7th inning, down 3-0. New pitcher coming on for Lake Erie. We'll be back to live baseball soon. Who's the new pitcher? New pitcher on here for the Storm, Vince Pinsulo. Christian Smith with a drive to deep left field. Left fielder ranges back and makes the first out of the inning. It brings up number 28, Pete Burkett.
First baseman, number 28, Pete Burkett.
So the Oilers find themselves down 3-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Oilers only have 8 more outs to score something.
Yeah, they're going to need some offense soon. It's obviously the 7th inning already, down 3 runs, and sounds like a broken record, but offense has been hard to come by. So you got to think that they at least need 1 in this inning to give themselves a chance. Scoring 1 run in the next 3 innings would get this ball game tied, but a line drive to second base maybe adds to the frustration. Burkett hit it well, but right at the second baseman, and there's quickly 2 away.
Shortstop, number 6, Kevin Schrock.
First pitch strike here from Pinsulo to Kevin Schrock. He's came in, he's thrown 4 pitches and has already recorded 2 outs here in the inning. There's a foul ball at the first baseline, but he's quickly ahead 0-2 here on Kevin Schrock. And that was a 3-pitch strikeout to Kevin Strock. The Oilers go 1-2-3. Be back to live baseball momentarily. Number 35, Ryan Carver at the plate here for Lake Erie Storm. Austin Rodesky still pitching for the Oilers. He's thrown 108 pitches. 67 of those have been strikes. Ahead on the early in the count here, 0-1. That was a ball high from Rodesky. Pushes the count to 1-1. Quick box score update. The Lake Erie's got 3 runs on 1 hit and 1 error. The Oilers have no runs on 4 hits and 1 error. Foul ball back to our right side.
We didn't really get sound effects today. She's got to work into the sound effects part.
For those of you listening in your vans, we don't have any sound effects today for anybody, those fine folks out in left field. And a strikeout there from Rodesky. That's his 7th, 8th, or 9th strikeout of the day. 9th strikeout of the day. Brings up number 26, Tarasi.
The right fielder, number 26, Derek Tarasi.
What? I can't hear what. What was that?
Pardon, folks, we must have accidentally cut to our microphone on field reporter David Schwartz, who's down in the dugout.
Those of you at home, if you'd like to follow along with Oilers baseball on Twitter, the Twitter handle is @UF_baseball_. Kyle, what's the University of Findlay Athletics Twitter feed?
@Findlay Oilers.
How about that? As far as GAs are concerned, Kyle's a good one. Action in the Oilers bullpen again. And it's right-handed pitcher Alexander Tice, who did see some work in Game 1 of today's doubleheader. Rodesky's behind in the count here, 3-0 to Tarasi.
Probably knows that.
Yeah. We have been doing research. He is not related to Connecticut great basketball player Diana Taurasi. And he's also just took strike number 1 to go down 3-1. A great research department here at the University of Findlay back in the studio.
Yeah, Joe, the boys in the truck are working hard today. You know, we couldn't do it without all of our support in the truck and back in the studio. It's good to have so many people working hard to present you this Oilers baseball game on a sunny but cold day here in the end of March.
Way to come back.
There's the 10th strikeout of the game for Austin Radesky on what was his 117th pitch. Kyle, you know, when it's this early in the year, you don't have a lot of information on some of these teams and their
Left
freshmen.
fielder, number 10, Nico Diani.
But our research crew has been on it all year through our Florida trip and our North Carolina trip. The big kudos to those guys. Pitch in the dirt there from Radesky. So 2 strikeouts in the inning for Radesky. Like I mentioned, he's at his 118th pitch through 7 2/3. There's a ground ball to second baseman Cam Johnson. Cam comes in and makes a nice play. The 1-2-3 inning from Radesky. Heading to the bottom of the 8th, the Oilers trail 3-0. Jim and Kyle apparently want me to sing the walk-up music for Josh Schwerer, but I'll save you that pain. Instead, here's a slow roller to shortstop, who fires across the diamond to get the first out of the inning. 1 pitch and 1 out here. That brings up Cam Johnson.
Second baseman, number 3, Cam Johnson.
A couple of defensive changes in this half inning. At second base now is number 6, Austin Bavenzi, and out in right field is number 9, Alex Lind.
So the Oilers down 3-0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pitsulo pitching well here. He's thrown 8 pitches, 7 of those have been strikes. Oilers need some offense here in the last 5 outs that they have. There's a drive to deep left field by Cam Johnson. The center fielder ranges to his right to record the second out of the inning. 3 pitches and 2 outs so far for Pitsulo. Brings up Pete Jorgen.
Right fielder number 14, Pete Jorgen.
That means we have to listen to this song again that we still haven't figured out what it is. Off-speed pitch from Pizzulo over the heart of the plate to go ahead early in the count. 0-1. A lot of zeros on the board for the Oilers today in both games. And there's a ground ball to the second baseman who makes an error. So the Oilers do have a runner on first base with designated hitter Chase Gillette up.
Designated hitter number 54, Chase Goulet.
Oilers have third baseman Troy Merriman on deck if Chase is able to reach here. Pete Jorgen on first takes his lead. Pete does have one over to some here, but not with 2 outs. I would doubt it. The 1-0 pitch is fouled back into the screen, pushes the count to 1-1. Third pitch of the at-bat is a ball. Chase hits something hard here. As fast as Pete runs, he could potentially score if it's deep enough. And another strike there for Pizzulo. You wonder if, even if it was hit hard enough, if Coach Steve Perrill would hold the runner at third to get an extra at-bat in this inning if the call is going to be close. There's a slow ground ball back to the pitcher who makes a play and throws over to the first baseman. That ends the inning for the Oilers. Still no offense. Oilers down 3-0. All right, folks. Top of the ninth inning here. The Storm have a 3-0 lead. Radesky's still on the mound. He's turned 119 pitches. Oilers are not back in action again until next weekend, so we're airing our arms out today. Colin Perrill threw a lot of pitches in Game 1, and the boys yesterday labored pretty hard as well.
Not bad.
Mason Mayberry threw over 120 pitches yesterday's game.
He has no chance.
1-1 count here from Radesky to Lindgren. Kyle, why hasn't Radesky thrown that pitch more today?
Well, it's especially effective to this hitter, Lindgren, the tailing fastball on the outside part of the plate. Lindgren, when he takes his steps towards first base, really doesn't have a chance. I'd like to see him throw it again here.
Slow ground ball to first baseman Pete Burkett. Pete does a nice job of coming in on it, making the play. That's 1 up, 1 down here in the inning.
Dead rolling over.
Kyle, the last batter, when he takes that step towards first base,
Shortstop, number 16, Sean Matthews.
is that what they call stepping in the bucket?
Absolutely, Joe.
Hashtag coaching chalk here from Kyle and Joe.
And what that is he's stepping towards first base, and hips and everything are just flying open. He's going to be dead pull, and you see it there. All of his hits and contact today has been to that right side of the infield. So really what you got to do with a hitter like that is just throw soft away, and you'll get that rollover to first base and an easy out.
Swing and a miss there from Matthews pushes the count to 1-1. Radesky's been dominant all day, only allowing 1 hit. Unfortunately, that 1 hit did bring in 2 RBIs. The third run was brought in by a couple walks and a wild pitch.
One of a kind, Schwartzy. Somewhere? No, I just wanted to cool off before I put it in my car.
1-2 pitch here from Matthews is fouled back into the screen.
How long did you throw it in there? Where there's no bag.
Drive to deep right field. Centerfield makes the second out of the inning. Ball was hard
First
hit.
baseman, number 25, Cale Giddings.
Ball was hard hit, but straight into the wind. That brings up Cale Giddings, the number 4 batter for the Storm.
Giddings is 0 for 3 in the ball game today, Joe.
Thank you for those hot sports takes, Kyle. A hard hit ground ball to shortstop Kevin Schrock. Kevin recovers nicely and throws across the bag to Pete Burkett to record the third out of the inning. Last chance for the Oilers as they are down 3-0.
German's ball. Oh, yeah.
Oilers' last chance for glory here as they trail 3-0. Third baseman Troy Merriman takes a first pitch strike from Pizzulo. Pizzulo has thrown 3 innings in this game and has been efficient all 3 innings. Ground ball by Merriman to shortstop, who fires across the diamond for the first out of the inning.
Left fielder, number 13, Austin Adams.
This being the 3rd inning that Pizzulo has pitched, he is in line for the save.
Left-handed batter Austin Adams steps in and drives one to left field. That's going to be a line drive base hit to the right fielder.
So much for taking the pitch.
So the Oilers do have a life here. A runner on first base, and that brings up number 19, Christian Smith.
Catcher, number 19, Christian Smith.
Kyle, this would be a good spot for Christian to hit one hard like he did in his last at bat.
That's right. Christian, at this point, is 0 for 3, still looking for that first collegiate hit. No better time than right now.
How many hits did Gary have? 1 today. What was the first pitch?
Christian with a swing and the miss there to push the count to 1-1. Catcher and pitcher have a brief conversation on the mound, and Smith steps back in to face the 1-1 pitch. There's a hard hit ground ball to the shortstop. 6-4-3 is going to end the game. Oilers fall 3-0 here. Final line score for the Lake Erie Storm: 3 runs on 1 hit and 2 errors. For your Findlay Oilers, no runs on 5 hits and 1 error. Be back momentarily with some live stats.
Your final again for the second ball game. Oilers swept by Lake Erie in this opening GLIAC series. They lose this ball game, the final ball game, 3-0. Lake Erie scored in the top of the first inning, added a couple in the 7th inning. Lake Erie only managed 1 hit, and the Oilers had no runs on 5 hits. Radeski takes the loss. He pitched 9 innings, gave up 1 hit and 2 earned runs, walked 3, and struck out 10. Getting the win on the mound for Lake Erie is Bullock. He pitched 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, but no earned runs, struck out 3. Pizzulo earns his first save of the year as he pitched 3 innings out of the bullpen, surrendered just 1 hit, and again, no runs. Offense hard to come by for the Oilers. Going to need to get that straightened away as they continue conference play. Again, the Oilers are off now for a week.
They're back in action next Saturday and Sunday against Northwood first game next Saturday at 1 o'clock here at the Marathon Diamonds.
Those are home games again, and if you are able to join us, we'd love to have you out here at the Cube. If you're not able to join us, we'll be doing a live broadcast again on YouTube. You can find us at athletics.findlay.edu. Again, the Oilers dropped the fourth and final game of their series with Lake Erie. They dropped all 4. And for Joe Mayberry, I'm Kyle Neerman signing off until next week. Thanks for being with us today, and have a good night.